Welcome to English with Famous People. Learn English through the lives of inspiring men and women who changed the world. Today we talk about Albert Einstein, the genius who changed the way we see the universe. Albert Einstein was born in Germany in 1879. From the beginning, he was a curious child. He often looked at the world with big questions in his mind. Why does the compass needle always point north? How does light travel through space? While other children were happy with simple answers, Albert wanted to understand why things worked the way they did. At school, however, life was not always easy for him. Teachers sometimes thought he was slow because he did not learn in the same way as others. He preferred to think quietly and imagine problems in his head instead of repeating lessons quickly. This made some of his teachers lose patience with him. One teacher even told him he would never succeed in life. But Albert's parents noticed his love for learning. They gave him books and a small violin, which he learned to play with passion. Music became a place where he could relax, and mathematics became a place where he could dream. He often spent hours solving puzzles and thinking about numbers, enjoying the challenge. Even as a boy, Albert showed signs of the genius he would later become. He was not the best student in class, but he had something far more important: endless curiosity and a mind that refused to stop asking questions. As Albert grew older, his family moved to Switzerland. There, he entered a new school where he could focus on mathematics and physics. For the first time, Albert felt he was in the right place. He enjoyed solving complex problems and spent hours thinking about the mysteries of nature. Still, life was not always simple. He did not always agree with his teachers, and he preferred independent study over strict classroom rules. After finishing his studies, Albert hoped to become a teacher. However, things did not go as planned. He sent many applications to schools and universities, but he was rejected again and again. For a while, it seemed as if the words of his old teacher, that he would never succeed, might come true. Finally, Albert found work in an unexpected place, the Swiss Patent Office. His job was to read inventions and check if they were new and useful. Many people would have found this boring, but Albert used it as an opportunity. During the quiet hours, he filled his notebooks with ideas. He imagined riding on a beam of light. He wondered what would happen if time could move differently for two people. While he was not working as a professor, his mind was alive with questions that no one else was asking. Albert may not have had the career he wanted at first, but the patent office gave him the freedom to think. And those thoughts were about to change the world. The year 1905 became the most important year in Albert's life. While still working at the patent office, he wrote several scientific papers that shocked the world. Scientists later called it his miracle year. In just a few months, Albert introduced ideas that would change physics forever. In one paper, he explained how tiny particles, invisible to the human eye, could move in random ways. In another, he described how light could act both as a wave and as small particles. But perhaps the most famous of all was his paper on energy and matter. From this came the simple but powerful formula, E equals mc squared. It showed that energy and mass were connected in a way no one had fully understood before. These ideas were not only clever, they were revolutionary. Many scientists at first could not believe that a young man working in a patent office far from the big universities could produce such work. Yet Albert's clear thinking and imagination were undeniable. He did not seek fame or money. He was simply following his curiosity, asking questions about light, space, and time. But soon, his name was known across the scientific world. Albert Einstein, once considered an average student, had become a rising star in physics. Einstein's new ideas quickly spread through the scientific world. In 1915, he completed his theory of general relativity, which explained how gravity works in a completely new way. Instead of thinking of gravity as a simple force, he described space and time as a fabric that could bend under the weight of stars and planets. It was a difficult idea, but when scientists tested it, they saw that Einstein was right. In 1921, Albert won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Strangely, it was not for his theory of relativity, but for his explanation of the photoelectric effect, how light can free electrons from a surface. This discovery later became important in technologies like solar panels. The prize made him one of the most famous scientists in the world. With fame, however, came challenges. In Germany, political changes created danger for Jewish families like Einstein's. When Adolf Hitler rose to power, life became unsafe. Albert accepted a position at Princeton University in the United States and left Europe behind. It was a difficult choice, but it gave him safety and the chance to continue his research. Even in America, people looked at him not only as a scientist, but also as a symbol of intelligence. His wild hair and kind eyes made him recognizable everywhere. Yet behind the fame, Albert remained a man who loved peace, music, and simple walks with friends. In the United States, Albert Einstein spent the rest of his life working at Princeton University. His office was simple, filled with papers, chalk, and his beloved violin. Even though he was world famous, he lived modestly and cared more about ideas than about money or power. Students and visitors came to hear his lectures, hoping to learn from his clear mind and creative spirit. Einstein also became a strong voice for peace. After seeing the dangers of nuclear weapons during World War II, he spoke about the need for countries to work together and avoid war. He believed that science should serve humanity, not destroy it. His message was not always popular, but it showed his deep sense of responsibility. Beyond science, people admired him for his curiosity and his wisdom. He often said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," reminding everyone that creativity can open new doors. Even today, his name is used as a synonym for genius. When Albert Einstein died in 1955, the world mourned the loss of a brilliant thinker. But his ideas continue to shape technology, physics, and our understanding of the universe. More than just equations, he left us an example of how curiosity, courage, and imagination can change the world. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more English stories about famous people and keep improving your English every day.